A beginner learning salsa with their basic step looks kind of like this. And then a person gets a little more comfortable and it gets a little bit smoother. But then at a higher level, we're actually doing quite a few other things with our basic that make it really stand out and look smooth and nice. Let's clean up your salsa basic step once and for all so you can look and feel like a pro on the dance floor. My name is Danny Kalman. I'm a professional Latin dancer and the creator of dancechemistry.com, where we have comprehensive, structured, progressive salsa training programs where we're really focused on the details and technique and a lot of repetition together and foundations to really get things in your muscle memory so that when you do go out onto the dance floor, you dance with confidence and you don't have to think too much. It's just in your body. So if you'd like to get really thorough, amazing salsa training that you can do right from home, check out dancechemistry.com. So let's look at our basic step here. First thing I want you to look at, we're gonna look at 4 major things today. So the first thing, do a basic, 1, 2, 3. It's the same dancing on 1 and on 2, by the way. It would just be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1. That would be dancing on 2, okay? But the technique points are the same. I want you to make sure that your feet are turned out all the time. That's the first thing. So that means the left toes are pointed to the left corner, right toes pointed to the right corner. They should be between about 10 degrees to 45 degrees. We don't have to go 90 degrees like ballet. Salsa is a much more forgiving dance. So just a little bit of turnout, but something. What this does is I want you to put your left foot in front of your right and touch your heel to your toes, okay? And have your feet totally straight. Is this balanced or wobbly? It's wobbly. This is like walking on a tightrope. But now, I'll face you, I want you to turn your feet out. Now, are you balanced or wobbly? You should be much more balanced now. The reason is that turning the feet out makes our base of support twice as wide. So it's much easier to balance. So if you've struggled, especially follows with turning, this actually is one thing that can help with that. All right, so that's one reason that we turn out. Another reason is it looks better. So if I'm turned out, it just looks a lot nicer and it gives this illusion that the feet are crossing over each other more than they actually are, and it just looks clean. All right, so let's do a few basics with our feet turned out. And 1, dance on 1 or on 2, whatever's good for you. Whatever you're focusing on. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I'll be dancing on 1 at this moment. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Freeze on 6. On 5, freeze. All right. Check your feet. Are the left toes turned out? Are the right toes turned out? They should both be. Oftentimes this back foot, people ignore it and they gotta focus on getting that one turned out. So 5, 6, continue. 7, basic. 1, 2, you should be doing it with me. 5, it's really important. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. One more time. And 1, 2, 3. Freeze on 5 and freeze. Check your feet. Left toes out. Right toes out. All right, I hope that went well. It's really important to build self-awareness when you're dancing. This is really the key to your progress. Actually, it's true whether you're in a class or at home. The more you can look at yourself and immediately fix something that's going on or feel something that needs to change, the faster you're gonna progress. So practicing at home, like with videos like this, is a really good opportunity to work on your self-awareness with your dancing too. Okay. Next thing, I want you to step forward with your left foot. And now I want you to bring this foot in front of the midline of the body. So it's right in front of the belly button here, okay? In front of the thigh would be out here, but in front of the belly button moves it over a little bit. Now, make sure the feet are turned out. I want you to practice all of your steps being in front of the midline of the body. So let's try. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 in front of the midline. 1, 2, 3. Freeze on 5. Freeze. I'll turn around for you. Now, is your right foot that's back, is that also right behind your tailbone here? Shouldn't be out to the side. It should be right behind you. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Freeze on 1 and freeze. Left foot should be directly in front of the midline of the body. And let's check now, are the feet turned out? Left toes out, right toes out. So 1, 2, 3. Back on 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. And 5, 6, 7. Okay? So we have two things. Toes are turned out and in front and behind the midline of the body. Now, this does lead me to the third point, which is oftentimes we'll teach beginners to do 1, 2, 3 feet are together. 5, 6, 7. And then eventually they kind of notice in class that we dance a little different and people often ask about it. What I'm doing right now is a progressive step, which means I'm never returning to this point where the feet are right next to each other. So it's in front, behind, behind, in front, behind, behind, in front. Makes your basic step look really nice. Now, do we always want to do a progressive step? Not necessarily. If we're dancing with our partner, it takes a little bit extra space and movement to do that. So it can be partially behind, like here. It doesn't have to be all the way behind back here. And sometimes I will come back to the center, like let's say I do a Suzy Q, and then back to basic. Yeah, maybe I'm dancing small and I just want to keep it in place here. So it doesn't always have to be a progressive step. But when you have space and you want to do that, it looks really nice for your dancing. All right, so we have three things: feet turned out, midline of the body, and progressive step. The fourth thing that I want to look at with you is small steps. Please, please, please take small steps when you're dancing. And I'll tell you why. When you're dancing with your partner, it makes all the difference for your connection. So if we want to do intricate patterns and all this crazy stuff, if we're dancing small and close to our partner, we're just going to be more connected to them. It's easier. And I see a lot of guys, when they try to turn a girl, they'll do this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. They can't reach. Okay, it's because the step is too big, right? Well, obviously height plays a factor, but all the more reason if there's a big height difference. You gotta take small steps so you can actually reach further. So that's a very specific scenario where that's really important for the connection, all right? Now, when I tell my local students to take small steps, they go, okay, and they keep taking these huge steps. And I realize they're not understanding what a small step means. So I want to give you a drill right now that will change this for you, all right? I want you to find a wall or a cabinet. I'll use this, anything. And I want you to put your back against it and your heels against it. Now, heel to toe, a step forward, stop right there. That's what you get. Now do your basic step. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And I guarantee instantly your step is actually going to become small. Now, you should be doing this with me because, again, it's about muscle memory. We really need to do this 1,000 times so that when you're on the floor, this is your default habit and not these big Godzilla steps, I call them. All right, so this just guarantees that you're going to take a small step because you can't go back any further. Bam, bam, bam. Practicing at home is really, really important and valuable for your dancing. It's so great that you're doing this, often more so than practicing in class. Because what I realize is that even though I give everything to my students in class, it's only the ones who practice at home between class that really excel in their progress. So it makes all the difference in the world. But when we're practicing at home, I'm really focused on using props, because props give us a physical feedback to make sure that we're keeping ourselves honest with the technique. So this is just one example of that where we like to use props. All right, so let's do our basic step. 4 things. First one was, say it out loud. Do you remember? Toes turned out. Second one was midline of the body. Third one was, what was the third one? Progressive step. Fourth one was small steps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm gonna give you a bonus one here in a minute. Let me give you 5. 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5. One more time. And 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let me give you something else actually. One more thing. 1.5 more things. When we step back, the heel should always stay lifted, okay? Ba, 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 ra. You notice my heel's not touching. Ba, ba. Okay, why is this? 1, it helps you to step faster, because if the weight is on the balls of the feet, you just have more control for where you're gonna go, and salsa music tends to be fast. Second thing, if you step on somebody behind you, you're not gonna completely crush their foot and break their foot. So we're very grateful, and I'm very grateful in these moments where a heel will like kind of fall on my foot but not break my foot. I'm very grateful for that. So have that be you also. All right, so we wanna keep that heel lifted when we step back. And on that note, that's why I said 1.5 things. When I step, notice that I'm landing on the ball of the foot first, and then rolling into the heel. Okay, so ball of the foot and rolling into the heel. If you see an instructor dancing flat-footed, look, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. We do it because this takes extra energy to dance with all these details, so sometimes we're just la, la, la. Don't hold it against them, but just so you know, when you're really dancing, we want to roll through the ball of the foot. So here's a drill that you can do for this. I want you to bring your left heel up, and then I want you to roll into the foot. So the action is down into the heel, and roll into the heel with the left side. You should be doing this with me. And roll down into it. And roll. And roll. And roll. And roll. And roll. Let's do 4 more. And 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Let's go other side. I used to live in Tokyo, and I did salsa training over there also. And they're very disciplined, and we would do this for probably 6 to 8 minutes every practice at the beginning. It was good training. And roll to the heel. Roll from the ball to the heel. And roll down into it. And roll down into it. And roll down into it. And then for ladies especially, this is the beginning of the foundation for your hip movement also. It's beyond the scope of this video, but just so you know. Okay. So let's go left, roll, right, roll, left, roll to the heel, right, roll to the heel, and left, and right, and left, and right, and left, and right, and left, and basic step, and roll, and roll, and roll, heels up. I know I'm not doing salsa timing. 1, 2, 3, rolling, heel up on 5, 6, 7, rolling. Let me clarify that for dancing on 2. 1, 2, 3, and 5, heel up, and 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5. Heel up and 7, and roll, 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 heel up, 7, and 1. Okay. Hey, let me give you another point. I'm gonna have to relabel this video like 6 things. Yeah, 6 things. The movement of the hips, I want you to notice something also. On that note of dancing small, notice that my hips stay almost in the same place as opposed to moving forwards and backwards so much, okay? It's not that it's not allowed to move forward and backwards. Sometimes you'll see people dancing big on the floor. If I have space, I'll dance big, but especially for starting out and for connection and for your default, think about staying in place. So your feet might move this much, but your hips are only moving this much, if that makes sense. So you're pretty much keeping your body in place, okay? The expression of dancing comes through the body. It's not about big movements. So beginners want to take big movements, but as you get more advanced, more sophisticated, your expression in your dancing comes out elsewhere. That's 6 things. Now we've just focused on the lower body today, okay? The upper body is what we call Cuban Motion. You'll want to use this for all of your shines. It applies to everything. It's quite complicated. It's figure 8s with the ribs, shoulders are rolling backwards while elbows are rolling forwards, and the hands are staying in the same plane with figure 8s, and then the hips are moving. All this stuff, it really takes time to develop, and I see that in my local students, it takes months, years. I do go through that in one of the programs at dancechemistry.com. It's called the Salsa Solo Foundations Mastery Program. So if you really want to break down this upper body and get in your muscle memory piece by piece over time, you can definitely join that program as well. I hope today's video was tremendously valuable for you. Practice, practice, practice. Go back, watch this, do this with me again and again. That's why I repeat it with you in the video so that you can have that practice and get in your muscle memory, because muscle memory is everything. If you found this valuable, please share it with your friends, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the dance floor.